My solution for day 3 2024 is insane. I think it took me several hours to do, and I was trying to summarize it up a couple times by cleaning this up and stuff, but to make it all tacit, like day 2 and 3, or day 1 I should say. I could not figure it out, so I'm just gonna go through what I got here. uh if I guess a reminder, the parsing for day 3 is basically you get a list of instructions, and you have to look for the multiplications that are valid. So like mul 2 by 4 is valid, mul 3 by 7 is not, because there's square braces. Here is valid because it's normal. Here is invalid because it's in matched, whatever. And my I went down this whole rabbit hole of like figuring out masks or something. So like I was trying to, this is number 0, or this is index 1, and then each digit would be index 2, or number 2 I should say, and then the comma would be 3, and then the right paren would be 4. But then I got stuck at the end here where this was 1 2 3 1 1, 2 3 2 4, but right away there was a space, and I couldn't figure out how to split a 1 and a 4 together, or 4 and a 1 together apart. But so anyway, I took a different approach once I realized I could. My second approach was that I could calculate the range until the first parentheses, and which is a 4. So let me see if I can show you. So these are my codes here, and again, I used code reports formatter to do this, which is nice. Check this out. You can do this, and it kind of has a little fun with your code. Couldn't get CockVim to work, but see, again, that's this, by the way, is how I use my LSP. So right, so I'll just go through my part 1, part 2 solutions here. I'm excited. I should have looked at the other people's responses for now, but this is what we got. So you can see I'm not in the right headspace. I can't read this at all, but we're gonna all right. I'm rolling up my sleeves here. I'm gonna pull this out. Do I have 2 make valids? Are they the same? Yeah, they look like they're the same across both functions. Let's find out if they're actually correct. They are. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of the old one, or the freaking Vim sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this, and hopefully it'll make sense, because it's not making sense to me, and I've been editing this for a while. Actually, as is custom now, I gotta do the G undo toggle, whatever it is, GT undo tree toggle. You can see that I've had quite a few changes in this guy. It took me a long time. We're having fun. We're having fun in admin code. Again, it makes us small. Anyway, so let's assume. So we got our find function. Well, actually, before that even, we have our standard log functions, which takes 2 variables, a message and a string, and then lets you log it. So by default in BQN, you can do print, you can do 1 2 3, right? But now with my log function, I could say this is a number. Oops, number log, and it'll just give me that number back. And I can say show the result of this, and then 1 plus that, right? And it should say 123 and then 124, because it still returns the thing. It's like a pass-through debug log thing. Conditional log, I tried using this one, but it's basically doing either nothing or logging if this is true. I don't understand how the state of this works, because it wasn't quite verbosely logging as I thought, so I don't use it anymore, but maybe I will in the future. These are just names, and I can't do uppercase because of BQN role conventions or naming or whatever, but constants for the mul string, the digits 0 through actually I can just do this 0 through 9, which is the range 0 through 9. Then I add in Unicode or BQN, you can do this basically to convert from ASCII 0 to 40. I don't know how to say this. Yeah, but just use this script to change these to numbers. Excellent. Comma means comma, end means end. Like I was saying, with my range of inputs here, this is 1, these ones are 1, and then the digit is 2, this is 2, comma is 3, and number's 4. So basically my solution is from the first 1 all the way to the first 4, take that range, which is often 7 digits here, and then go through the rest. The allowed characters are the same thing as well, are all the above basically. You can have the range plus the parens, comma, and the word mul. I use that later on to filter out the fields that don't exist or aren't allowed, because there's times where I don't know if it's obvious here, but sometimes if I go to the input for day 3, I have not solved day 4 yet. I don't know. Imagine that there's a. And I gotta say they're pretty not tricky this time. Actually, they're very not tricky. But anyway, imagine that there's some mul here that doesn't have a number between them. Doesn't matter. It's in here somewhere. I had to do it, but I can't find it at a glance. So we have our find function, which is it's basically take or find, but for some reason find, and probably a good reason, find, I mentioned this before, has a substring where it cuts off for performance reasons, I'm sure, where it cuts off the rest of the characters. So this is find string in the word substring. Again, it's sort of confusing because you think substring is in the time, but that's fine. This could only exist in this character at the 4th position, which is to say index 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And that's because it can do this. It doesn't tell you about TRING because you can't possibly fit 5 characters in 4 characters or lower. So what find does here, my find, is the intention is that, well, actually I guess I can just show you. Okay, I'll do the nice one. Default or whatever, default find, which is to say is it this string? I do substring. Whoops. Thank you, Copilot. Come on. Oh, yes, but it's fine. We're having fun. Okay, we're gonna go. We don't need to have anything else here. Substring, right? And we have our log function. Perfect. So this is from the example here, as you saw with the 4. But now my find function improved. Very important to have improved name. Anyway, so this is a find. So now we just have hopefully the characters that are missing from string. Oh, we should have 5 more zeros. And so that does for the input character, you find the length of it, then you get the range of it. No. This is not a train. This is a 2 train, which is to say it does this, then this. So you subtract 1 from the length of it, then you get the range of that, and I replace them all with zeros. And then I join it to the result of what find is. So again, length the first mention, but I just think of it as length. It's simple. There's 3 things here. You get 3 back. Excellent. The dot is compose or top. Bad example, but it does this thing, and then it does this thing after in like a chain sort of way. And then this is basically a partial function where it says give me the left argument, and I'll already have you 1 as the right argument. So otherwise, this could be said as this, I think. Then swap, is that right? Yes, this actually works because now I have to do this. No, obviously not. That can't be done like that. It has to be done like this. Be done like this. It can be done, boys. It can be done, guys. I should say, people. I should say, even better. Doesn't matter. I'm fumbling. We're having fun. I broke it by doing something I don't know what I broke. We're back to it. Easy. Never even had trouble. So we're back to we're back to find, where we have our regular find, right? And we're hold on a second. So we've got our improved find. We got our function here. This is make valid. This should be more like remove invalid or something. But anyway, it takes a string, and then it takes it checks whether the numbers are at least the digits, I should say, are at least 4 or less. 4 is less or equal to whatever the length of whatever I pass it in is. Where do I use this? We'll come back to this after. But anyway, this takes the input, whatever was here on the right, then checks its length for each element of it. What in the world am I using this for? Because I have no... I've been using this all over the place. I had to pull it out of this earlier, but I'll come back to it. Then based on the result of that, it does this, which again actually should be the same as this, right? No, because of this. I no idea. Maybe maybe this is how it's parsing. All right. Excellent. So what the second half, the second train is doing this, then it's doing this, which is to say, for each one, it's finding the word mul, because MUL is just a right comparison, right? Right, that's what we're comparison on mul. To find it, and I'm not doing the special find here because I take immediately the first number, because there can be multiple muls in a line for some puzzle reason. There can be multiple muls in a line that I think is valid. I take only the first one. So if we do part 1 here, I can get rid of these 2 logs, and I do part 1. Hopefully this is oh yeah, this should be fine. So you can see here, actually I can also do this, where each of my parts are the, well, and I should also show the line here. Perfect, thank you, autocomplete. This is our line, which is this whole thing, and I'm splitting on the word mul, basically. So we have our line, and then we have the groups of them, and you can see that because some of them don't have 4 characters in, I can say, oh, you're not really a character at all, so I get rid of them. And then which is what the make val is for. Then there could be multiple muls in here. So yeah, basically this is what make val is for. I should have just kept going the whole time. But we have our first mul that is here, and I don't need these ones, because if they do pick them up, they would have been picked up in like the next mul part, I should say. So that's what that's about. And then you can see at the end, after if I show them, you can just imagine that at some point, where the A5 is, here we are, this is the end of them. Now it starts up again, and the tiny X is gone. Perfect. We still want to have our log. It's interesting Copilot keeps putting in the comma. Anyway, so now we have our groups of, I guess I could just keep logging them up. Mul part, thank you, Copilot. So now, well, let's log them each. So we have our mul parts. And then now I want to find the, and I'll just actually out them real quick. Out 50 lines, so we know. Where we have our mul parts. And now I want to find the last parentheses inside of them. So in some, the indices of the parentheses, and I'll take the first one eventually. Actually, because in this case, there's 2 parentheses, so there's I could do index here and index here, but I only want the first one. I don't think I'm taking the first one quite yet. But at this point, from each one of these, I'm finding the right paren, and then getting the index of it. And again, because there can be multiple of them, that gets confusing later on. But I also want to use the this end indices as a mask to get the non-empty ones. So again, I can just show end indices log right, and do the out again. Copilot will learn. I love how fast this rebuilds, man. So you can see how end indices has 7 too, because this is presumably the 7th and the 25th index. What the second thing does, raw parts, is it figures out which one of the lengths of these end indices are empty or not 0, basically, and then uses those ones as a mask to pull out the parts of these that are valid. So because I know there's no ending parentheses in this one, that means it's valid to pull out and grab as a mask. Excellent. Great. I guess I can just keep printing stuff out because we're gonna just live our lives here. Can I do this? Raw parts. So now we've got our only the valid ones. We've stripped out this guy, the third one. Now we're done with this one. Now, from here, I want to, in order to parse the next step or whatever, I need to just get the parentheses parts that I care about, just these guys. And I want to ditch this stuff. So to that end, I take the raw ends, these things, take the first one. Well, how do I say this? I take this one and then I check its length and then keep the ones that are not empty and then pull out the indices. And I had a really hard time when I was doing the tidy up for this, trying to make it so that I don't double up my indices thing, because I'm doing it twice basically. I do it here. Yeah, you can see here I'm my part of my problem that I was trying to solve is that I'm doing it twice. I have to check empty here and check empty here. So in my mind, I should have been able to do, and this was not, I couldn't figure it out, but the idea was something like this. I pull it out of both places, and it should be like okie dokie to work. But I guess this is just this after all. But that doesn't, it doesn't work. Why doesn't that work actually? Because it's already emptied? Because it's already ranged? I don't know. I'll think about that offline as I'm coming back on the time, which totally happens on the code. You always go back and review this code to make sure that it's good. So now we have our, well, okay, let me clarify then. What this is doing, like I said, is it's taking the range of our indices. So these guys, making sure that finding the non-empty ones again, and then so avoids this one, and then pulls out the first. So 7787 should be our ranges until empty. So I do this here, 7787, perfect. The first one's excellent. We don't need to keep printing around. Well, yes, we do. Okay, so what we're doing is now we have two things. We have our raw parts, which is just the non-empty mul parts. Well, actually, what if I change this to mul parts? Does this look significantly different? It does. It's probably because the shape is off or something. Because mul part has this one still. Yeah. So raw parts does not. So anyway, raw parts takes the. Oh, you can see it. There's 4 of them here. Then I take the ranges. So because I know that there's the 7 in the first one, I take first 7 and then I drop the first 4 characters, because I take the 7 characters and I drop the mul part, which leaves me with just 2, 4. Likewise here, and then here I do 8 instead to get here. So now if I were to print raw grabbed, I would see. Well, I might as well just print raw grabbed, right? Thank you. Well, you've learned. You can see comma, etc. Nice. But now, in this example, it doesn't happen. But in the real code, well, actually, F it, right? We're living. Raw grab. There's gonna be, like on this bad boy here, there's from, and you'll notice there's no commas or whatever. But there's invalid characters in here, and I'm sure somewhere else. This was a pain. This was an absolute pain to sift through. Here, there's more invalid characters. So that's what the allowed character thing is pulling out. Let's go back. So we got our raw grabbed. We want to filter out all the ones that don't have allowed characters. Well, let's say this finds any allowed characters in, and if for all the characters, for each character in each raw grabbed. Oh, that's new. Raw grab goes through each one of these, finds all of the figures out if each one of these guys is not a member of this, I guess, because I'm swapping it. And then this is anding them, which is the minimum case. So if one of them is false, they'll both be false, etc. And I and them all together. Excellent. And then now, and again, let's do the old log. Thank you, Copilot. You're learning. So now it doesn't apply here because they're all valid anyway. But imagine there was a. I guess I can. Let me just go this one. I'll just put a comma here. Not a comma, because that was a test I didn't think about actually. But here you'll see that the commas, the bang is not allowed in this one. I didn't think about trailing commas. I don't think. Interesting. So now we're grabbed. We have a bunch of commas. So let's just put that comma back. Let's put that comma up. So for each element of this, we're saying, do you equal a comma for each character? If so, or not if so, just and then not it. Well, I guess actually, do I have to not nod it? I could just do this, right? I, no, I guess you can't nod it. Just that's fine, I guess. Am I spanning? What's the deal with this one? Is logical not or a span? And the span is like the difference, I guess. The difference. I don't know. Whatever, whatever, man. We're partying. I'm gonna go a little faster here because A, I'm more and more lost as we go on, but B, this is getting long. So split the commas. So you can see now we have our two numbers split up. Because I don't know. I think the top here requires that the second argument is monadic, right? Dyadic, the top. So, how does this work? Because this is for sure dyadic. So apply G, and what is G? If you were a function, how would you describe yourself? Dyadic. This is G, the second one. So applies the first one first to both arguments, then applies F to the result. F is monadic. Yeah, okay, so yeah, for sure. Well, if this is the number, what is the span of one number? What is the span of one number? Now I'm all kinds of lost here. I do the old exit trick, exit one, kill this, and then we'd have our show span of 1, 2, 3. It's yeah, but I don't know. I would have thought that this was actually doing for every element I grabbed, it's doing this, which is to say this. But if this is monadic, then nodding the single character. I wrote this myself. No looking up or anything. Oh no, I used up Bacon Grape. I didn't use anyone's solutions. So the first 2, 4. So if any of you guys are ones, oh, because this is a train or whatever. You actually let's put that here. We can do this. Yank. What I do? Go back, please. Thank you. Here we are. Never actually. This is gonna be a long line, but yank till the end of the line. Thank you. And then we're gonna go add in the code, and we're gonna go to this guy online. We're gonna push this in, and we're gonna have 1, 2, 3. Okay, because we just need a valuable. Why are you complaining? What in the world are you complaining about? X must have rank of at least 1. Well, that's for sure rank 1, is it not? Good enough. What is this? I can't read this, but I think I think the left thing means something versus just going up out of it. I don't know. But anyway, this is a plus scan, and then the not of this. Right? Does this mean... No, it's always going left out of here. Okay. This doesn't help me. Unfortunately, this doesn't help me too much. But I'm gonna say this is a train, and then this turns into another 3 train. So the result of this. So if we had our grabbed of our equals, if you recall that our first thing is this. No, not splitted. We're on grab still. So this one equals comma. And cool here. Negative. Not. This is just not. So it equals true and then not true. Oh my goodness. Clearly, dude. It's just doing a plus scan. So it's adding the things together, then times them by 0 or true. Why would it be doing that? Because if I get rid of everything else, let's simplify this down a little bit. And let's really simplify this down. Is this too simple? Missing operand. I think I plus it. Okay. What does this give me? This is 0 because none of them are comma. But if I do a comma b, well, to 2 comma 4. Did I where's my bacon crate? No, ternary comes later. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. So this is okay, you're saying let's one at a time, buddy. This here, this equals 1 is this, right? Okay. Then there were also not in them, right? Which is what is happening. Oh, I don't like that I can't do this. Then it's piping it into a not piping, anding it into a function that does a plus scan times scan times there it is, times not. So that takes this function, then inverts it, so it turns to 101 on one hand, and then, well, actually, this is now an important step of my understanding. We're gonna do this, the result of this, and the result of this. Yeah, so we're okay, this is kind of the ones that, so basically the increases as it finds a comma. So there's a second comma, the last number would be like a 2 or something. Right? So it's like accumulating the number of ones. Of ones, yeah. Then it's not in them for some reason. So if does this look the same? Yeah. Okay. This is, oops. This is not in them. Then it's multiplying based on this mask. Only, I don't know why I'm multiplying, but it's probably because it's removing something or other. But I'm keeping the things that aren't the commas, basically. I must take this from bacon crate because I don't remember this at all. But anyway, so this is the accumulating sum, and this is like the inverse, and it's just nuking the commas because this is a first comma and this is a second comma. Excellent. We're learning. It's easy. Hold the phone. I actually have a phone message. So now we're just plowing forward. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff because we already have, we know we have our split commas doing exactly what I called it on the commas. Then it's literally just going through each pair of this, and parsing the floats. So this is a whole thing. This is an element. This is an element, and then each one of these has an element. Which of these? And then I'm parsing them. I'm not going to burden you with printing the parts, but because Copilot's got us back, look at that, easy. And we're literally just checking because part of the rules is that they have to be 3 digits long. Look at this, each digit's 3 digits long. So we have our numbers. We got to be 3 digits each, which basically is at least. And I checked also in my inputs that there's no zeros, so it's either 1 to 9999, 1 to 999. So I just checked the range here. Easy, nice and easy. It's almost basically Python, right? Because you'd have 1 is greater than x is greater than 1000 or whatever, right? Like that's basically Python. I guess you'd have the greater or equal. Is it greater or equal in Python? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, then we have we want to make sure that every one of these elements inside of this thing is valid. So from each number, because remember this is the element, and then each one of these is our range. So we check the range, the valid range. I'm wondering why I just called it range instead of valid range, but anyway, range, and then I and them all together, because if this was 1000, this is 1, this would still be valid, and this would not be valid. But the whole thing has to be valid together. Excellent. Then I'm gonna go down here, and we're just gonna valids. Thank you, Copilot. They're all valids because in this example there's no invalid ones, but you'd imagine. Then literally I'm just multiplying all of them together and summing them up. So this times this, this times this, this times this, this times this, and then adding in a well, that's it really, because I can't add all these numbers together. I think. Will this work actually? I don't know. It's pervasive, allegedly. Yeah, it's not working. That's fine. But anyway, so I just have to, I can't multiply all these together. Oh wait, I think pervasively it'd be 2 times 4 times 5 times 6 or whatever, times 2 times 4 times 5 times 5. But I really just want 2 times 4 and then 2, 5 times 5, etc. Then I add them all together, and that's 161. Pretty easy, right? But again, most of my time, I think 5 hours out of the 7 was just trying to get the splitting going because I was doing totally the wrong strategy. Once I upload the that combination of videos, you'll be able to join me on my pain. I was gonna say pleasure and plane, but it's just pain. Now things get complicated a little bit, where we have our moles, but we have do's and don'ts now. So if there's a don't, the next until there's a do aren't evaluated. This again took me a couple hours because I didn't realize there was some condition where I don't know if I'll spoil it. Basically, I have multiple lines. Basically, my logic was pretty rock solid. So I like drew a range, or I calculated all the indexes of the do's and don'ts, and then I ranged them across the whole thing. So it starts with 1. It goes from 1 all the way to 0, or 1 onwards until it's a don't, and then it goes to 0 and onwards. And I couldn't figure it out. I looked at it for so long. So you'll see in the recording that I have multiple attempts to like visualize the problem and read over and over again. I even freaking took time to rotate or solve both parts in Python, or at least solve as insofar as I got in BQN. My logic was correct. So the things I was writing was what I thought I was writing, and I couldn't understand what was going wrong. And lo and behold, it was because there was multiple lines of input, and then it doesn't say explicitly, but because it doesn't say explicitly, it's not allowed. Every line has to share the same state. So maybe it'll be easier to see in my Python. Anyway, if I do my input source day 3 pi, you'll see what I was doing was basically I think I just have to move what my actual code is doing, I guess is the best way of putting it, is putting it here. And that's resetting it, but then I just moved it up here. It was basically the solution. I solved it. I don't know if this is exactly the right thing, because after realizing this is a problem in BQN, I solved in BQN, and I think I might have validated that this works. Again, I don't know that this actually works because I didn't test it after. But anyway, just FYI, to give you an idea of what changed. So I had to, instead of resetting, well, actually, I think I might have done the exact same thing up here too, right? The state or something. Oh no, actually, my solution, I just joined the lines before I passed it in. Yeah, there you go. So let me just go through quickly the mask calculation. I thought this is pretty nice, but it's the same as Python. But anyway, in part 2, this is the same thing as before, I think, where I multiply half of them. But then, actually, that's different. But here I just find a do and don't, right? So I find which indices have a do in them, which indices have the don't in them. I do some join stuff to make them. Well, actually, this is okay. This is worth talking about here too. So in this part, I started thinking more maybe in table-y ways. I don't know, where I have. Can I log this? Give it to me. There it is. I have all my command indices of my do's and don'ts, and again, I guess I'll can I line it? Can I line? Come on out. There you go. Look at this. Oh no, you failed me, Copilot. So this is line, and I wanted to figure out where the do's and don'ts were in our sample. This is for sure. Oh, okay, sorry. Commands, right, obviously, sorry. Commands are the moles. So mole sets index 1, etc., right? Because there's the 4, and then there's the fifth one, or 5, sorry, there's a 5, and then the 137 is invalid, we know, from this guy. But now the difference is, we have, okay, I don't remember what joined is, just show it real quick. Yes, so, this is what I was talking about, where now we have a table instead of a list of pairs with our indices. So we join each command with the index and thing, because I need to use this later on to check the index of this into the the go and the do and don'ts. Each one builds the index, and I use this to look that up, which I think is pretty cool. Because I was trying to figure out how to like pair these up and stuff, and how to like, I don't know, backtrack from this back into this or something. But then I realized I could just pull it up into the top. So anyway, this is pretty simple. This just iterates over the whole thing. So you'll see, I guess I'll just do the enabled. Come on. It really wants me to do that same pattern again. I keep encouraging it because I keep picking it every time. But this is the enabled mask. Oh, this is actually just indices. Oh, okay, I see. It's a 20. I don't remember. Offhand, there's a 20. Yeah, exactly. Oops, perfect. 20 is not missing. But I can show the mask. Yeah, you'll see. So I start off at 1 because it starts the program enabled. It keeps going 1 until the first don't, which again is I guess 20 characters in. That looks way less like 20, but I'm gonna trust myself on this one. Yeah, I guess I could about double this. I'm just eyeballing the number of characters here. That's I can't. It doesn't show me the count, but that's about 10. And there's a space after every one, so that's 20. Yeah, that works out. So enabled don'ts are enabled or are disabled until the next do, which is undo, and that's just doing the last couple lines. So like there's a do here, and then there's a mull or something afterwards. So now I have the mask that I built up. I have the grab the indices of all these ones. So it's the first 20 characters, then off until 64 or something. No, something like that. So now we have our masks that are allowed. Perfect. I can get rid of this guy, I guess. Perfect. So now from our commands, even though joined. Wait, where does join come in, actually? Do I not use join anymore? No, I use it down here. What are commands, then? Yeah, perfect, thank you. What am I doing this for? These are the same. Oh, this is an artifact probably of when I was, hold on. I think this is an artifact of when I was unsure of how to go back, so I was trying to like calculate the index or something. Maybe? Because shouldn't this be... I want to make sure okay, hold on. Instead of checking whether it contains line, can't I just take like the first bit of this or something? Why don't I need multipart at all? Yeah, dude. Okay, get rid of multipart. Hold on. I just need the second element of every I need the second element of every line. Hold on. Grab one each from every line, from every joined. And then this is probably, I don't see the error, but no. Okay. Yeah, is that not the same? Ah, perfect. Okay. Nice. Then I guess I would. Yeah, I guess I would keep multipart because it's just an alias. I'll use it later on, and I don't have to keep looking through the thing. Anyway, so now we have our commands that are what? Yeah, just the indices. I guess I have to filter out the ones that don't contain mul. Like there's X at some point, but I don't know. All right. Then now I just check to see if the command is in the enabled mask. So I just check if your indices is in this thing because these are all the ones that are allowed to be run. I still have to do some end finding as a part of the part 1 solution, right? You'll see end mask. I might have renamed it actually, but my range is still empty is what I called it. Yeah, I this is what I initially called it. Is that the same? No, totally different. Pretty sure this is part 1, but anyway. Anyway, this is finding the last 4. Remember, if you recall the 1, 2, 3, 4 thing, this is finding the last 4 to make sure that these are valid. I grab the range. This is a lot of hand waving. Actually, a lot of hand waving on my part. Why am I doing this? This is part of the messing with the joined, I think, because let me show, I'm laughing at this. I was trying to learn how the working with this sort of thing would look like in BQN. Because there's some rotational things I was trying to do. So if you again go to show joined, right, where you have a duplicate there, then I rotated it, I transed it, so that the counts are on the top. And the counts on the top. Then I reversed them for some reason. I reversed them to get this as an array. Oh, yeah. So that's what this is doing. It's basically getting the first one, and I grabbed the first one. Yeah. Yeah. This is okay. Look at this. Trans, and I do log. Right. This is the same thing as just doing grab or pick or something. log, I think this, join. Are these equivalent? These look pretty equivalent. I'll get rid of the S. Yeah, these are equivalent. Yeah. So this is rotating and reversing. I don't know if the transformations are required versus just doing this, but that's what is happening here. Why am I doing it twice? This is getting this is getting this part, and this one is getting the indices. So I guess I'm filtering on the ones that are of these ones, which one are valid, and I'm picking them out of joined. This seems like there's definitely duplicate work here. And this is grabbing the indices and checking if they're enabled or not, and then I see I'm doing this and I'm passing right down here. Okay, hold on. Just for fun, can I? No, this is I had the same thought last night. I could probably do like a before on this or something, and on these guys, and pass it back, but I'm not going to risk it. Then now I have, if I have my two parts, I just have my two valid enabled commands. Or sorry, these are likely valid, I think, commands. So I grab the ranges. I don't remember what ranges does. Ranges is the 7 and 8 thing. So there's the first 7 characters. And then I just go through the regular stuff from there, actually. Like parse it and do the same thing. Do the same thing. And that gives me my answer. And let me validate that, I guess. Because it's saying it's wrong because I have the wrong validations. But anyway, 10087666. Perfect. Excellent. Anyway, I'm still having a blast with BQN. It's been incredibly challenging. I'm having a hard time staying motivated because every hour of recording sessions, it's like, oh my god, But it's been cool. You feel like you're stretching a muscle. I'm hoping that as I do this more, I'll get better at it because it's been tough, man. I'm struggling on day 4 already with again more transposition stuff. It's I would have thought it'd be easy, but here we are. All right, thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing what you guys are up to. See you guys later.